Hello guys, let's see the last concept in first chapter, that is generic strategies. Porter's generic competitive strategies. Generic strategies were first set out by Michael E. Porter in 1985 in his book Competitive Advantage: Creating and Sustaining Superior Performance. So this generic strategies, this concept is developed by Michael E. Porter in his book in 1985. Porter suggested generic business strategies that could be adopted by organization to gain competitive advantage. So by having generic strategies, firm can gain competitive advantage, that is suggested by Porter's. Porter's generic strategies fundamentally are cost leadership strategies, differentiation strategies, and focus strategies. So he classified strategies into three types, that is cost leadership, differentiation, and focus strategy. Then he subdivided the focus strategy, that is last strategy, into two parts, that is cost focus strategy and differentiation focus strategy. According to Porter, there are four generic strategies, that is cost leadership strategy, differentiation strategy, cost focus, and differentiation focus strategy. Actually, there are three. The third one, that is focus strategy, that are classified into two, that is cost focus and differentiation focus strategy. So let's see the first generic strategy, that is cost leadership strategy. Cost leadership strategy emphasizes producing standardized product at very low price for consumer who are price sensitive. Here concentration is on customers who are price sensitive, who considers the prices of the product. So the customers who will prefer the product which is of good quality with low price. It involves the firm winning market share by appealing to a cost conscious or price sensitive customers. So here firm can acquire the market share by concentrating on those customers who are price sensitive. This is achieved by having lowest prices in the target market segment. So you can get success in this strategy if you focus on the market, that means target market, where you are going to offer products at a lower price. To succeed at offering the lowest price while still achieving profitability and high return on investment, the firm must operate at a lower cost than its rivals. So to succeed in this strategy, firm must offer prices firm must offer products at a price which is very lower than a competitor, and the firm should not suffer loss. So when you go for selling products at very cheaper cost, then it may result in loss for the organization. So you have to consider that you should try to produce a products at a very lower cost, and you have to fix a price, and that price should be less than the competitor. Here for the customers, the price is very important. They'll go for the product which is very cheaper with good quality. Cheaper price is their main concentration. There are three main ways to operate at a lower cost than its rivals. First way is high asset utilization. So how can we achieve lower cost? How can we fix a lower price for our customers, for our products than our competitors? So first way is high asset utilization. It involves production of high volumes of output, so economies of scale, producing products in bulk in large quantity. If you produce a product, so that cost of production reduces, and you can fix the price for a product which is lower compared to competitors. Then fixed costs are spread over a large number of units of the products or services, resulting in a lower unit cost. That is, firm hopes to take advantage of economies of scale. That means if a firm concentrates on economies of scale, then definitely firm can take advantage of this strategy. No direct and indirect operating cost. This is achieved by offering high volumes of standardized products and offering no frills products and limiting customization and personalization of service. So these facilities or offers which are provided to the customers, it increases the cost involved in producing and marketing and selling a product. So if you reduce or if you cut these facilities or offers or these services, then you can reduce the prices of the product. Production costs are kept low by using fewer components, by using few materials to produce a standard products, and you have to use standard components. ಎಲ್ಲ ಮಟೀರಿಯಲ್ಸನ್ನು ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡೋದಂತ ಅಲ್ಲ, ಬೇಕಾಗಿರೋ ಕೆಲವೊಂದು ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಮಟೀರಿಯಲ್ಸನ್ನು ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡಿಕೊಂಡು ಯು ಆರ್ ಗೋಯಿಂಗ್ ಟು ಪ್ರೊಡ್ಯೂಸ್ ಅ ಪ್ರಾಡಕ್ಟ್. ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಲಿಮಿಟಿಂಗ್ ದ ನಂಬರ್ ಆಫ್ ಮಾಡೆಲ್ಸ್ produced to ensure larger scale production. So different models you are going to produce. For example, you are manufacturing a soap. In soap you will be having different models, means different types of soap you will be having. So that different types you are going to eliminate, you are going to concentrate on few, and you are going to produce that few products in a larger quantity, so that you can produce at higher quantity and you can reduce the prices of the product and also the cost associated with the production. Overheads are kept low by paying low wages, so by paying lesser wages to the workers, and by having your factory in a area where rent is very low, by establishing cost conscious culture. So by following all these ways you can reduce the cost of your products. And third way is control over value chain. Control over value chain. So value chain includes finance, supply, procurement, marketing, inventory, information technology, etc. So by having control over all these areas, Porter says that we can generate low cost. For supply procurement chain, this could be achieved by bulk buying to enjoy quantity discount. So if you purchase materials in bulk quantity, so that supplier may produce discount, he may provide a discount and squeezing suppliers on price, means by making a bargain with the suppliers for reducing the price, and by having contract or giving some of the works on contract to third parties, or working with vendors to keep inventories. That means to have a good amount of stock in a warehouse, it is to have a better relationship with the supplier. So whenever we want raw material, that time we can procure it from the supplier. So that time no need to store it in a bulk quantities. So if there is guarantee that you'll get raw material from these customers on this date, then what is the need to store it in bulk quantity? So that you have to make negotiations with the vendors, that is to make arrangement for the inventories or the materials whenever you want. Cost leadership strategies are viable, or it is useful for large firms, because it concentrates on economies of scales and large production. So that's why this strategy is suitable for large firms who has a capacity to produce products in large quantity and who has a big market coverage. A cost leadership strategy may have disadvantage of lower cost customer loyalty, because here customer their preference is for the product which is of lower price. So if they find a product which is of good quality with the price which is lesser than our product, then definitely they will go for that. So that's why this strategy suffers to get loyal customers. A reputation as a cost leader may also result in a reputation for low quality, which may make it difficult for a firm to rebrand itself or for its products if it chooses to shift to a differentiation strategy in future. So I can give the best example for this sentence, that is nano. When they define a nano car, they define it like a badawara car. So people uh, who afford to buy a nano car, they are definitely not poor. Middle class people actually nano car ಅನ್ನು ತಗೊಳ್ಳುವಂಥದ್ದು. But people who are rich, they can also go for buying nano car, but they avoided to purchase nano car just because if they purchase nano car, people may recognize them as poor. So that's why if you're making a cost leadership strategy, you may produce a good product with lesser price, but you may be known for what low quality products which is of lower price. Then the second type of strategy, Porter's generic strategy, is differentiation strategy. It is a strategy aimed at producing products and services considered unique industry-wide and directed at customers or consumers who are relatively price insensitive. So in the first strategy, we have seen that people or customers who are very price sensitive, they'll go for the products which are lower in price while compared to its competitors. But here, differentiation strategy focuses on products which should be unique from its competitors, and they are offering this differentiated products or unique products to the customer who are least bothered about price. This strategy emphasizes to differentiate the products or services in some way to compete successfully. So they in this strategy, company is trying to prove its products is something different from its competitors. Differentiation strategy involves making the products or services different from, and it is more attractive than those of competitor. So here the focus is on producing a product which is different and which is more attractive and which has the capability to gain more demand from the customers. So a differentiation strategy is appropriate where target customer segment is not price sensitive, customers are not bothered about the prices of the products. The target market is competitive. There are competitors and there is a competition, and you are going to prove yourself in the market that you are different from them. Customers have very specific needs which are possibly underserved. So there is a possibility of serving the specific needs of the customers. The firm has unique resources and capabilities which enabled it to satisfy these needs in ways that are difficult to copy. So the firm should produce those products or those unique products which should be different from customers, and that differentiation that should not be easy to copy. And about third point, the customers specific needs that are underserved means which is not served or which is not satisfied with the other competitors. Now with your products you are going to satisfy that specific needs of the customers. Successful differentiation is displayed when a company accomplishes or fulfills either a premium price for a product or service. So we can say with this strategy company becomes successful when with the higher price company is able to get more demand for its products, or the revenue is increased when after initialization of this strategy, or a customer they have not changed their preference for the product even after the introduction of this strategy. Differentiation drives profitably when the added price of the products outweighs and the expenses to acquire a product or service, but it is ineffective when its uniqueness is easily replicated or when it is copied by competitors. So we can say differentiation strategy is become success when the prices of the products which we fixed uh, that is more than the expenses which we are incurring for the products, and again uh, it is ineffective when the different feature which we added to the product that is easily or that can be easily copied by the competitors. Successful brand management also results in perceived uniqueness even when the physical product is not same as competitors. Sorry, it is the same as competitors. So the product which may be same as the competitor, but still you can say that it is a differentiation strategy. That is, this way Starbucks that is known for coffee and Nike is known for sneakers. Even other companies also producing coffee, they are having sneakers, but still these two companies are known for this. Fashion brands also they rely on this differentiation strategy. Differentiation strategy is not good for small companies because it requires R&D, research and development, innovation you have to make with regard to product features, and you are going to focus it on small target groups. That's why it is appropriate for big companies. Then the third type of strategy is focus strategies. Focus means producing products and services that fulfill the needs of small group of customers. Here firm will concentrate on a small group of customers, and to their preferences, to their needs, products are going to be manufactured. Focus strategy is an appropriate strategy for small companies wanting to avoid competition with big one, because you are going to compete in a smaller market segment. However, this is not a separate strategy for big companies due to small market conditions. So this is not suitable for big companies because their concentration is on small market. In adopting a narrow focus strategy, the company ideally focuses on a few target markets. This should be distinct groups with the specialized needs. That group should be distinct with the specialized means specific needs. The choices of offering low price or differentiated products or services should depend on the needs of selected segment and resources and capabilities of the firm. So here price of the product and the features which you are going to add to the product, so that depends on the needs of the segment which you are going to select, and also resources and capabilities of the firm. The firm typically looks to gain a competitive advantage through product innovation and brand marketing rather than efficiency. So here importance is given to product innovation and brand marketing. A focused strategies should target market segments that are less vulnerable to substitutes where a competition is or a competition is weakest. So you are focusing on the market where substitutes are not available. Even if it is available, it is less fluctuating. The demands are less fluctuating. There will be more demand for your products, and the competition is very less. Let's see the types of focus strategies. There are two, that is cost focus and differentiation focus. Well, let's see what is cost focus. So it means emphasizing cost minimization within a focused market. So you are going to focus on a small target segment, and where you are going to offer a product at a very cheaper cost. That's what cost focus. Low cost products you are offering in a small market. The firm that follows this strategy does not necessarily charge the lowest price in the industry. Instead, it charges lowest prices relative to other firms that competing within that target market. So here, cost focus means that they are not offering products at very cheaper price. Instead, they are offering for the price when it is compared with the competitors, it is the cheapest one. That's what cost focus means. Differentiation focus strategy. It means pursuing strategic differentiation within a focused market. So you are having innovative products in a, or you are going to offer innovative products in a target market. Focused differentiation strategy requires offering unique features that fulfill the needs of a narrow market. So you are going to study the needs of a small market. According to that, you are going to produce a product. Yes, so by this we done with first chapter. Thank you.